another day of Vlogmas. Today we're going to do our Christmas cards for the year. So I have something really fun that I'm going to do this year, and it's called the 12 Days of Love Letters. So basically here's a description of what the 12 Days of Love Letters are. The holiday campaign we wait for all year long is finally upon us. Welcome to the first day of the 12 Days of Love Letter Writing. It's bound to be a wild and fun marathon of letter writing. Over the next 12 days, we invite you to read the daily story, jot down the address, and script a letter of love and encouragement to a stranger who needs an extra dose of joy to end the year. Make sure to drop your letters in the mailbox by December 20th. So we still have time. So far, there's been 6 different stories that have been shared online, and I'm gonna go ahead and do those today. These are the really cute Christmas cards that I got from World Market. I thought they were super festive, and just, I love the little Christmas trees. And they are like this. And then the inside says, wishing you a merry and bright Christmas. Enjoy this magical time of year. So perfect for the 12 Days of Love Letters and for family Christmas cards. So the very first story is a girl named Eva. So here's her story. Eva has endured a lot of hardships over the last 2 years. Her daughter nominated her to receive love letters and wrote in, "Due to COVID, I have been unable to travel home for 2 years. My mother has had to navigate a pandemic, the isolation that has come with that, health concerns unrelated to COVID, retirement, and so much more. She has had to step out and advocate for herself in situations where I would have done so. The increase in violence in our area has also been frightening, but she has planned her life around the chaos and continued moving forward. I am incredibly proud of her and her willingness to keep growing, learning, and trying." All right, so Eva celebrates Christmas and Three Kings Day, and she welcomes letters in English, French, and Spanish. So let's start with Eva's letter. So greetings from Florida, Eva. My thoughts and love are with you during the Christmas season this year. You've obviously had more than your fair share of challenges in 21. Here's to a bright new year filled with peace, hope, and lots of love. Merry Christmas. Yours truly, Chelsea, Nick, and our 13-year-old pup, Cooper. Letter is ready. Who is next? All right, this is a story about Russ. My dad is an amazing guy, but his health is failing and it is causing him to become more and more isolated. At 15, my parents divorced and I lived with my dad because we were so close. He was a civil servant for 38 years and always worked hard, lots of overtime to care for me. When I was 28, I relocated to Texas and started having a family. I am an only child, so that was really hard on my dad. He would come to visit, and eventually, once he had a quadruple bypass surgery, he hasn't had the same life since. He has lost a lot of confidence during that time, and he wouldn't come over as frequently or accept our invitations to dinner as often. My boys love him like crazy. He would care for them anytime I asked him to in their younger years, but he's always also very intentional about buying us birthday cards and spoiling us on the holidays, but he is lonely. He is single and does not want to socialize much. The doctors have discovered another blockage in one of his arteries, and I know he is scared. He lives in chronic pain because of peripheral artery disease. He won't go out and about much because his lower legs hurt too much to walk too far. We go and visit him regularly. He lives about 3 miles away, but he just seems so lonely and sad. He has done so much for me over my lifetime that I would love to shower him with tons of cards and letters to remind him that he makes a difference in this world. He certainly makes a difference in mine. All right, let's get writing. I've heard you've had quite the year and could probably use a little extra Christmas cheer. All the way from the Gulf Coast of Florida, I'm sending you my love and prayers your way this time of year. I hope you feel all the love from near and far because of just how special you are. Merry Christmas and warmest wishes. Chelsea, Nick, and our 13-year-old pupper, Cooper. Okay, let me get his address. Okay, 2 down. On to the next. On the 3rd day of letter writing, we are writing to Kirby. My dear friend Kirby is 75 years old. Earlier this year, her husband Tony, her sax man, died. They both love music, and jazz in particular. I met them at the local jazz jams. Tony played the saxophone and Kirby sings. She calls herself the Satin Mockingbird. Right after Tony died, the relative from whom they were renting a house told Kirby he was increasing the rent. Kirby could not afford to pay more rent, and she was sad to leave behind her chickens, ducks, and other animals, but she and her dog and cat packed up and moved to the city. She has had nothing but a positive attitude, though, all this time. She has had some physical challenges. She recently had a major oral surgery from which she is still recovering. She's able to eat only soft foods, so she laughs about putting her meals in the blender so she can just drink them. Even when she's in pain, if there's live music, she presses through. She is a very vocal supporter of other artists and encourages all the musicians in our circle to support each other. She is generous with her very limited resources. If she has food, you're invited over to eat. She often has small gifts for people. She sends out prayers, blessings, and encouraging text messages every single day. When she's on stage, she dazzles audiences with her sparkly personality and her heartfelt performances. Even though the Satin Mockingbird always has a song and a smile for us, I know her heart is still sad and she is lonely without her Tony. All right, let's send Kirby a positive message. Dear Kirby, greetings from Florida. I'm so sorry to hear about your loss in Tony. He sounded just as special as you, and I know he's with you in spirit this year. I hope you know you're loved and thought of dearly, both near and far away. So I'll be sending you my best for a brighter new year coming soon. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Warmest wishes, Satin Mockingbird. Chelsea, Nick, and our 13-year-old pup, Cooper. Another one down. Sticker. Number 3, down. On the 4th day of letter writing, we are writing to Nick. Nick deserves a bundle of love letters because he is a young guy who stepped in to do a father's job. I am a single mother of a delightful 16-year-old girl named Madeline. Her father has chosen to have no involvement in her life. Madeline attends a high school with a long-standing tradition of an annual father-daughter dance. We had to find a man that could step in and escort Madeline to the dance. That's when we thought of our dear friend, Nick. I shared with Nick the terrible sadness that Madeline was feeling and that there was no one to take her to the father-daughter dance. Nick stepped in and said he would take Madeline and treat her the way a father would treat his daughter. On the evening of the dance, Nick showed up in a blue suit and tie with a bouquet of flowers for Madeline. He opened the door like a gentleman and took her to the dance. Madeline introduced Nick to her teachers, her friends, and other dads. It was a proud moment for Madeline and Nick, as he was the father figure she needed. At the end of the evening, I met them for dinner and heard all about it. It was wonderful. He deserves a bundle of love letters because what he did was so special. I want people to know those good guys exist, and sometimes they are in your backyard, and they may be the quiet ones in your life just waiting for the chance to do the right thing. I want Nick to feel the love of this community because he is one of the really good guys. All right. Dear Nick, greetings from Florida. To an amazing person that deserves all the love and cheer, I'm sending you much gratitude and joy this Christmas year. What a bright light you must bring to sweet Madeline's life. You're making a difference not just in her heart, but ours too, for showing the world what true kindness looks and feels like. Merriest of Christmases to you. Warmest wishes, Chelsea, Nick, and our 13-year-old pup, Cooper. Number 4 is done. So on the 5th day of letter writing, we are writing to Danielle. Danielle is an incredible younger sister. Over the last couple years, we've become closer and she is more like my best friend than my sister. Danielle graduated from college in May with her bachelor's in exercise science and is applying for physician's assistant school. Danielle started as a nurse tech in the local emergency room during her junior year in college. She works 2 night shifts a week on Friday and Saturday nights, typically the busiest nights in the ER. Danielle is a hard worker and almost every weekend she has to cover for another tech that just doesn't come in. She always puts her best foot forward and wants to do her job to the best of her ability while she builds relationships with all those around her. Recently in her quest to get into PA school, Danielle did not pass the GRE the first time she took it. Danielle was incredibly disappointed in herself even though she did her best. She also did not get into one of her first schools that she applied to. Again, she was sad and disappointed in herself, thinking that she could have done better, even though she had already given 100%. I think that Danielle would really benefit from a love letter bundle to have so many reminders that she is doing her best and that she is as great as I think she is. She has worked so hard and deserves the world. All right, let's write to Danielle. Dear Danielle, greetings from Florida. Whew, what a year. I hope you know just how loved and special you are because you are touching so many lives in all that you do. To care for others takes true angels, and that sounds just like you. Keep your head up and know we're cheering you on. You've got this, only onward and upward. Merry Christmas, warmest wishes, Chelsea, Nick, and our 13-year-old pupper, Cooper. All right. Here's what the description says on the 6th day of writing. Welcome to the weekend of love letter writing. We're shaking things up a bit this year and doing something we've never done before. We call this our community cause weekend. Typically we pick a nonprofit or a specific group of people to write love letters, but the mission for this year is close to home, literally. We challenge you to write people you know throughout this weekend, people in your community who are doing great work and who are rarely thanked. Some suggestions include write a letter to a postal worker, thank a teacher with a note, leave a few notes of encouragement around your community, write a sweet note to your child, slip a letter of encouragement in the mailbox for your best friend, script words to essential workers at your local hospital, or write a letter that you've needed to write for a long time. There's no limit to the good you can spread. Join us in loving close to home this year. We want to know who you write to this weekend, so be sure to share and report back to us. If we all join in, we can spread some mega love across the world this weekend. So, I have some family Christmas cards to write. Let's get to it. You guys, I have my Christmas cards ready. That was super fun. Now it's time to go to the post office and get these delivered. Join in on the love letters, make sure to visit www.moreloveletters.com and get to writing.